Family. Okay, so I'm gonna do a video. This one is gonna be a little, a little different. Um, Not everyone can handle the stuff that I'm about to read right now. So I'm gonna do a video on demons and how they came about because I had a few people ask me some questions, about how they came about. Some people hear voices, so I'm gonna explain that to you, okay? And I'm gonna go in the scriptures. Okay, I'm gonna start off at the book of Enoch. Okay, now I'm gonna start off with how they tell you sleep paralysis. You know how when you're in your bed sometimes and you're asleep and you get frozen and you can't move or you can't talk, or you're being attacked by a demon. That's what's happening. Okay. Now I'm gonna explain these things to you. I'm gonna tell you where they come from because when I was a kid, I was having issues with this in my household. My mother is a Jehovah's Witness, so she has a lot of books that have demons attached to them, and those things used to be in her house. My brother got attacked. I even got attacked a few times. I'll even give you a few testimonies on things that happened to me after I read these scriptures. So let's start off at the book of Enoch. I'm gonna read how they came about. Okay. So if you have the book of Enoch, you want to open it up to the Watchers. All right. And then we're going to start off on these uh, how these demons came about. Okay. Now you can actually get the same thing in Genesis, but it goes to more in detail in the book of Enoch. Okay. So we're going to start off at first Enoch, and we're going to start at chapter 6. Okay. In those days, when the children of man had multiplied, it happened that there were born unto them handsome and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose wives for ourselves from among the daughters of men, and beget us children. And Simyaz, being the leader, said unto them, I fear that perhaps you will not consent that this deed should be done, and I alone will become responsible for this great sin. But they all responded to him, Let us all swear an oath and bind everyone among us by curse not to abandon the suggestion, but to the deed. Then they all swore together and bound one another by the curse, and they were altogether 200, and they descended into Ardos, which is the summit of Hermon, Mount Hermon. And they called the Mount Armin, for they swore and bound one another by a curse. And their names are as follows. I'm not going to go into their names, but you see what's happening here is the angels seeing the daughters of men. They were beautiful, so they was like, hey, let's go down there and let's get us some wives and have some kids with them. Okay. So now we're going to start off at 7, and they chapter 7. And they took wives unto themselves, and every one respectively chose one woman for himself. And they began to go unto them. Go unto them means have sex with them. And they taught them magical medicine and incantations, the cutting of roots, and taught them about plants. And the woman became pregnant and gave birth to great giants, whose heights were 300 cubits. The giants consumed the produce of all the people until the people detested feeding them. So the giants turned against the people in order to eat them, and they began to sin against birds. That means they start doing experiments with birds and beasts. All right, wild beasts, reptiles, and fish, and their flesh were devoured, the one by the other, and they drank blood. And then the earth brought an accusation against the oppressors. So you got to understand here, dinosaurs. You know how they tell you dinosaurs exist, but not giants, right? Now the scriptures tell you that giants existed. It also talks about dinosaurs, okay? But in the earth today, they don't tell you about giants. You can find these giant skulls everywhere and giant bodies. Now, I want you to Google that, okay? I want you to Google giant skeletons of giants, and also dinosaurs. I'm going to tell you where dinosaurs come from. See, they never can explain that to you in this modern day science. That's because they took this book out, okay? Dinosaurs come from fallen angels doing experiments with reptiles, and they created these wicked creatures. All right. Now let's keep going. Now we're gonna start at chapter 8. And Azazel taught the people the art of making swords and knives. So now the demons taught humans how to do all these things. So they taught them how to make drugs, alcohol, roots, plants, all these things, enchantments, drugs. Okay, and the making of swords and knives and shields and breastplates. And he showed to their chosen ones bracelets, decorations, shadowing of the eye. That's eyeshadow. So demons taught humans how to do makeup. So makeup is really wicked in itself. All right, demons taught them that. So that's why it's a trick. You see a woman, she has all this makeup on, and you think she's pretty. She take that stuff off, she's a straight up monster. So women, this is to women. You don't need that much makeup. I tell my wife this all the time. Now she understands. But you don't need makeup. A man wants to love you for who you are. You don't need makeup. But wearing a whole bunch of makeup is wicked as hell. All right, let's keep going. Decoration, shadowing of the eye with antimony, ornamentation, the beautifying of eyelids, all kinds of precious stones, and the coloring tinctures and alchemy. And there were many wicked ones, and they committed adultery and erred, and all their conduct became corrupt. Amsaras taught incantation and the cutting of roots, and the morals of resolving of incantations and astrology, and the knowledge of the signs. You see the signs, the astrology. See, I'm going to keep going some more. And Tamil taught the scene of stars, and Asidar taught the course of the moon, as well as the deception of man. And the people cried, and their voice reached unto heaven. Okay, so what's happening here is the fallen angels came down, made all these beasts, giants, reptiles, crazy dragons, crazy flying big human birds, dinosaurs, and they start devouring humans. They start eating up all the humans. So the humans start praying to God, and the angels, not the fallen angels, but Michael, Raphael, and Uriel, and the Most High, they heard them. So they sent them down there. Okay, so I'm gonna skip a few chapters. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. Okay. Now, Enoch, this is the book of Enoch. Enoch was a righteous man. Enoch now has become the mediator for the fallen angels, because the fallen angels now are in trouble with God, with the Most High, because of what they've done. They came down here and they created all these children and beasts. So all those Greek mythology creatures that they tell you in school about cyclopses and Neanderthals and satyrs and all those things, that's true. It existed. That stuff exists. They find skeletons all the time, but they hide it from you. They don't want you to know, because that's why they took this book out. Okay. Now Azazel was the head demon. So what they did was, now Enoch now is his mediator. A human now is a mediator for one of the fallen angels. Let's get that. This chapter is called His Intercession for Azazel. As for Enoch, he proceeded and said to Azazel, there will not be peace unto you. A grave judgment has come upon you. They will put you in bonds, and you will not have an opportunity for rest and supplication, because you have taught injustice, and because you have shown to the people deeds of shame, injustice, and sin. Then I went and spoke to all of them together, and they were all frightened, and fear and trembling seized them, and they begged me to write for them a memorial prayer, in order that they may be for them a prayer or forgiveness, and so that I may raise the memorial prayer unto the Most High. So now these fallen angels are telling Enoch, hey, talk to the Most High for us, please. Now a man is not interceding for fallen angels. All right. So now Enoch goes back and tells them this. This is chapter 15. But he raised me up and said to me with his voice, Enoch. I then heard, do not fear, Enoch, righteous man, scribes of righteousness. Come near to me and hear my voice. And tell the watchers of heaven on whose behalf you have sent to intercede. It is meet for you that you intercede on behalf of man, and not man on your behalf. For what reason have you abandoned the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and slept with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of the people, taking wives, acting like the children of earth, and begetting great sons? So the Most High is now scolding these fallen angels through Enoch. He's telling them, I'm not hearing your prayer. Listen to this. Surely you used to be holy, spiritual, the living ones, possessing eternal life. But now you have defiled yourselves with the women, and with the blood of the flesh, begotten children. You have lusted with the blood of the people, like them, producing blood and flesh, which die and perish. On that account I have given you wives in order that seeds might be sown upon them, and children born by them, so that the deeds that are done upon the earth will not be withheld from you. Indeed, you formerly, that means they got kicked out. You formerly were spiritual, having eternal life, and immortal in all generations of the world. That means they were immortal, they couldn't die. That is why formerly I did not make wives for you. For the dwelling of spiritual beings of heaven is heaven. So the Most High told them, you guys not supposed to have wives. You guys are spiritual beings. You guys aren't supposed to have wives. I didn't make wives for you. I made wives for the humans. And you guys went out and took wives for yourself and created all these freaking damn monsters. Watch this. Now these monsters are getting to the demons that I'm going to be speaking about. Okay, just stay along with me. But now the giants who are born from the union, listen to this. But now the giants who are born from the union of the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. So now the giants who died, their disembodied spirits are now the demons that are upon the earth. So when you hear voices and you hear all this stuff that's going on in the world, and you see ghosts, it's not a ghost, it's a demon. These are what they were. Okay, let's keep going. But now the giants who are born from the union of the spirits and the flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, because their dwelling shall be upon the earth, all inside the earth. Only inside the earth. They can't leave. Evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day that they were created from the holy ones, they became the watchers. Their first origin is the spiritual foundation. They will become evil upon the earth, and shall be called evil spirits. The dwelling of the spiritual beings of heaven is heaven, but the dwelling of the spirits of the earth, which are born upon the earth, is in the earth. The spirits of the giants oppress each other. Hear that? The spirits of the giants oppress each other. They will corrupt. They fall, be excited, and fall upon the earth and cause sorrow. They eat no food, nor become thirsty, nor find obstacles. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of the people and against the women, because they have proceeded forth from them. So they really come up against women. So you women, if you hear voices, it's a demon. It's a demon. It's not your grandmother or your father or someone who died. It's a demon. It's a spiritual, it's a wicked spirit that was a giant. Okay, now let's keep reading. All right. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, and the spirit beings of the spirit and the flesh, from which they have proceeded forth, which will corrupt without incurring judgment. They will corrupt until the day of great conclusion. So their job is to corrupt and destroy people. Get you to commit suicide, get you to go rob a bank, get you to kill somebody, get you to turn into a homosexual, get you to do drugs. That's their job. Their job is to oppress you and destroy you. All right. Now, to get some further proof, I'm going to go into a book called The Testament of Solomon. Testament of Solomon is an account of King Solomon. King Solomon got a hold of a ring that allowed him to enslave demons, the spirits. And when he enslaved them, he was able to ask them questions, and they had to tell him everything. All right. Now, I'm going to give you some accounts of what they told him, okay, of what they do. So this word comes into sleep paralysis. You know how people sleep and you get choked in your sleep? I'm going to show you where the demon admits to doing that. That's what they do, okay? Now, this is a demon that this is chapter 4, okay? Now, I asked the demon if there were any female demons. When he replied that there were, I said that I wanted to see one. Beelzebub went off